Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to today's very exciting episode of QuickBooks Labs, because you may notice that behind me isn't the legendary QuickBooks Labs area, and behind Johan isn't the legendary QuickBooks
Johan's office
area. No, we are in QuickBooks HQ. We're here. We've infiltrated. Now, it was a bit difficult getting ourselves in. We had to climb over a wall and through a barrier and crawl.
You could have warned me about the 5th floor part. That was quite the wall.
We had to crawl through some ventilation shafts. And then you realized you could just go through the front door, which,
you broke a bag trying to get it over the wall. And I just went through the front door, went, hello. And they went, oh, hello, Johan. How are you?
Exactly. But QuickBooks themselves has gracefully let us come into their offices to do QuickBooks Labs, which we're going to try and do, fingers crossed, on a quarterly basis. Today makes sense as well, because today, not only are we going to talk about the news that's happened in QuickBooks over the last month, but also we've got our legendary tier list as well, which I think this year is a big one. This is a big year.
Oh, it's been a huge year. There's been so much going on. Like, I asked ChatGPT to summarize it all for me.
Really?
It was a very long list.
And I can say it is a long list as well, because when we get to the tier list itself, it's there. Now, I'm not sure what's trickery is happening with the cameras at the moment, but we are actually in the same room.
Yeah.
Hi, Jan. You right?
Hello.
Hiya. There we are.
There we go.
So we are in the same room, so this should be interesting. Apologies from Charlie as well. He's very poorly at the moment, so good health to him. Hopefully he gets better soon. He's probably listening along, I would have thought, being an avid listener that he is. So hopefully he'll
be commenting in his illness through his sick bed.
That's it. That's what he'll be doing. So so today, though, we are going to be using this opportunity to talk about the world of QuickBooks and go through one vein. But we've got a bit of stuff to go through first of all. First of all, we aim to go live each and every it's supposed to be a Wednesday that we go live. So if this is the first time you've heard from us, then do keep an eye on our socials, because next time we go live, why not come and join us live? Like we have, if we have any comments yet, they'll be popping up on the screen now. I'm not in control today. I don't know what's going on. This is a whole new way of doing the pod for me. I like to have my control, and I feel a little bit without it.
Used to that whole control station thing, multiple screens, loads of buttons, got your stream decks, and Lizzie's at home.
Today we've got producer Lizzie doing an expert job, but I'm just
it's a very morning show.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get my head around it all.
What do I do with my hands now?
Yeah, exactly. So today then we are going to be talking about a lot of information about what's happened over in Las Vegas. So that's where ChatGPT came to the rescue for us.
Pulled in all the facts.
Amazing. Which is definitely needed, because we weren't actually able to watch it this time around. I've not found.
We weren't even invited to be there.
I mean,
the UK's only QuickBooks podcast, and we weren't given seats on the plane.
Best podcast, I'll have you know.
Number one podcast,
QuickBooks related product. Yeah. We'll keep pushing that one. But yes, so we've got that to talk about. We have also sad news about QuickBooks Desktop, and there's been a new release in the UK product that we can talk about, which we already know all about. And let's just say we have mixed opinions on the matter. So carrying on. All right, first of all, let's go through the preamble. Again, we have a cracker in store for you, but first of all, let's figure out how this all works. First of all, we are live to the world at our regular time, normally at 4:30 a.m., normally on a Wednesday. p.m. Yeah, UK time. And if your listeners back to it at a later time, why not think about joining us live? And that way you get involved in the show and you can keep us honest and talk about our burning questions. If not, though, don't forget we are live on every single podcast solution on the planet. Say live, we go on the podcast services on the planet, so you can subscribe to the podcast service of choice. Please give us a like, subscribe, and all that sort of stuff to help us grow the channel. Right, let's go straight into the first bit of news, which of course was a little thing called QuickBooks Vegas. Now, before we talk about what was announced, I have to say I was slightly jealous about who they had there. So
yes,
Ryan Reynolds was there.
As much as I love Tom Kerridge,
yep,
and his cookbook that he gave me signed and autographed, very nice, has saved my bacon several times in the last few months alone.
Yep.
With the mother-in-law coming over for dinner most evenings, it's given me some real variety. It's not Ryan Reynolds.
No,
it's just not.
No, and what I loved best about his performance or him being there, shall I say, was he was really in character for it. Every photo you see of him and a guest, he's doing the typical I'm sat next to an accountant pose, and it's absolutely brilliant. I've got a lot of respect for that. He knew what he was doing. He knew that this was a particular audience. He knew that we could take the joke. And yeah, every single photo you've seen, he basically looks, and it is acting, uninterested. And I love it. Absolutely love it. I'm well there for it. They seem to have some other guests there as well. So they seem to have a great time. Is it 2 days? It was just 1 day event, this one, wasn't it?
I think it was 2 days.
Was it a 2-day event? Yeah, 2-day event.
I know it had over 2,500 people attend.
2,500 people. That is phenomenal, isn't it? And it was all while the F1 was being built as well. So they had all of that excitement going on in Las Vegas. So yeah.
Which makes it even ruder that QuickBooks didn't take us, really, because we're such big F1 fans.
We could have stayed, but we would have happily have accidentally had to stay behind.
Yeah,
you know,
we'd have missed our flight accidentally on purpose.
Yeah,
to attend that.
So yeah, but it looked like it was good. So let's go through the announcements then. So, I mean, their big push this year was just about trying to. It felt very similar to the UK one in terms of trying to push back to the accountants again. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, I completely agree. It was very much about putting us back in the driving seat, which actually is a new angle for QuickBooks USA.
Definitely.
Because the USA has always been direct to market. That's where their main force comes in. Whereas in the UK, they've always gone through the accounting and bookkeepers channel. So for them to have that focus in the USA, whilst it's great for us to be back on track, in the US, I feel like it was quite new.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think there's a lot of appreciation and value from that.
Yeah. I have to say though, like, and again, we've not been able to see the full feed. So this time last year, time before that, we were able to watch the full feed. So we were able to get all those big announcements. You think back to last year, it was fixed asset register being announced. It was QuickBooks Advance and features coming through from there. There was other elements of it that I completely forgot about now, but there was a lot of stuff that was been announced that we didn't have or that got us excited. And what we tend to do on here is we talk about those announcements and kind of theorize, well, when's that coming to the UK, right?
What version of that? Will it come to the UK at all?
Exactly.
Is it American only?
Yeah, because there's been a few features lately that never ever appeared here. So, you know, you're right. We have that debate of do we actually bring it here or not? But I definitely think this time round we had less product announcements. We had some new products, which is cool to listen to, but less product announcements. And again, maybe it's because we haven't seen the product announcement stream, and I've personally only seen like the opening keynote. So we've had less product announcement. So is that the first time we've ever had UK having more product announcements than the US? Feels like it.
The overwhelming impression I got from what I've seen of it and the media coverage is that there was this is all great and we've got all this, rather than going out and building out new stuff, lots and lots of new stuff, and there is some new stuff in there.
Yeah.
It's more of a, right, we're now going to take this that you've had for a while and we're going to supercharge it with this thing called AI.
True.
That was the overriding message of, you thought it was good now, just you wait until we plug it into Intuit Assist.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. And there was a big push for that. To be fair, though, I felt like the Intuit Assist bit was was it like a week, 2 weeks before? I know they did cover it again during the keynote, but
I think it would have drowned out QuickBooks Connect if it was announced at QuickBooks Connect. I think they did it right to separate. This is Intuit Assist.
Yep.
And now we're going to talk about QuickBooks at this whole dedicated event. And a lot of this is going to be powered by Intuit Assist in the future. And this is how it's going to work. So yeah, I don't disagree with their timetable.
Okay. Let's go for this. I mean, I've already done a video summarizing what was announced, but let's go through what you've got announced there.
Let's face it, we want to get onto the year-end
mark
scoring card, don't we?
Yeah.
That's where the fun is. So I think there was only a couple of things that got me really thinking. Okay. So they've announced, and some of these things that you and I have known for a while.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to talk about that.
Yeah.
But
especially when we're in this room.
Yeah, we are going to get tasered by the security guards that are outside the door. There isn't security guards. They don't have tasers. They're not that cool. Right. So overall, there's a huge theme of effective ways of working, making things efficient and improving UI with tweaks just to make things more efficient in the workflows, which is fantastic. But first big one that I'm excited for, I want to see it in the UK ASAP, QuickBooks Ledger. So Xero have had this for donkey's years. It's a cheap license where your client isn't given access and you have minimal functionality, but enough to do basic accounts, basic bookkeeping and stuff, and bank reconciliation to the point that you can then knock it out a set of accounts. Now,
that's the Xero version, right?
That's the Xero version.
Yeah.
QuickBooks, I've yet to see quite what it's going to do, but it's a cheap license. That's what we know.
Yeah.
It's a bit more function. They've ripped out things like we don't need projects in there. We don't need all of this bells and whistles. This is to get back to that core bookkeeping ledger style work that results in data we can use for QuickBooks accounts production.
Yeah. Just on that though, the key difference I think between Xero and QuickBooks' way of doing it, you mentioned it there. Xero, no access to the client whatsoever.
They don't even have a login.
Yeah. Which you can kind of understand where that logic is. It is about just being basically it's glorified work papers at that point, right? And it's, a ledger to be able to do it. QuickBooks though, in the US, and we don't know if it's even coming to UK yet, but let's fingers crossed it does, in the US has client access. And I think that's clever.
In the announcement, as summarized by ChatGPT, it does state it will be initially available in the US with subsequent releases in Canada, the UK, and Australia.
So they have announced UK.
It is coming here.
Cool.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
And we don't know what that is.
But the fact that the client has access, and the idea of the client having access isn't because it strips out debtors and creditors, right? Age accountable, accounts payable, and accounts receivable. They're gone. So it's not designed for the client to go in to raise invoices or put anything in. Literally, the client's one job is to go in there, attach the bank.
Yep.
And I assume reports. We haven't got clarification.
P&L reports,
yeah.
Basic reports.
Yeah.
You know what the biggest excitement for this one though is? I love working papers in QuickBooks, right?
Exactly.
I absolutely love that. And I stand on stage for QuickBooks. I will preach on LinkedIn. I'll preach to anyone the benefits and the virtues of QuickBooks working paper and the balance that they've got between a firm that needs working papers for small businesses and a software that has built working papers with auditors in mind.
Yeah.
It's overkill. Auditors' workflows for small businesses is completely overkill.
Yeah.
I don't need that level of intense workflow. What I need is what QuickBooks have perfectly mastered and delivered.
Sensational, yeah.
The problem I've got at the moment is I can't plug in a Xero or a free agent client into that QuickBooks work papers workflow, and then accounts and tax production once Tax Pro's up and running completely and fully functional to the point that I'm happy to roll it out to my client and use it on my clients. So at the moment, my options are do working papers for those clients on something else, or I take their trial balance, put into a QuickBooks simple start license, and then use working papers. But what that's doing in effect at wholesale pricing is charging me £72 a year to use working papers for them.
Yeah.
Which is more expensive than my work papers or anything like that, where it's like 17, 18 pounds a year a license. QuickBooks Ledger gives me a cheap alternative.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right.
So if I'm having to use Xero or Free Agent to keep the client happy, but I want to use the working papers in QuickBooks, and I can have QuickBooks Ledger, I can take the trial balance out of that, put it into there. If that's costing me 12, maybe 24 pounds a year,
yeah,
I'm happy with that.
Definitely.
Because of that efficiency I've got, and the complexity of the working papers in QuickBooks is so good. My team love it. It makes our working flow so efficient that actually it's probably saving me more money in time spent on work papers than it is costing me in a subscription.
Yeah, exactly right. And the way, because I've been doing the same, every chat we've had or every talk we've had over this last year, and we've had a lot of talks this year, we've been lucky. Every talk pretty much has involved work papers. And what I always say to people is, it's not just the fact that their work papers is brilliant, and it's good to use and good to have that opportunity to standardize your working papers throughout every single client you've got, but you also get all the cool features of QuickBooks, like client request, like using a bit of AI to check that there's that there's any issues or problems or anything like that. For me, that's the exciting thing. It's the ability for us to be able to push this forward and have the ability to be able to take all of that goodness out of QuickBooks and have it all in one. And especially if you're going to be using the accounts production side for it as well. That's a no-brainer for new business, new practices, right?
And there's always going to be those really small startup businesses that can't really justify £10 a month on software alone, never mind all the other services we need to give them. So for us to be able to go, actually, we can put you on a ledger, you won't have as much access, but you don't need it, and we can do this, we can do that. It's all okay. I'm really happy that ledgers are coming. Like, we've heard speculation and rumors for a while, and I've been really excited. I'd love them to be here today. They're not, but that's okay. We can live with that. It's the fact that they're coming in 2024 is more than enough to keep me happy.
Excellent. And I'll be really interested to see if VAT is involved in it as well. They haven't mentioned it, but that's a US, right? Like,
that's
US
the
is
US.
different.
Yeah, you'd have thought it makes
in the
sense to
UK.
me.
Could we have it? That.
Or are we saying, actually, by the time you get VAT registered, your business has got that level of complexity that you should have the full functionality
This is
of a
true,
PO
isn't it?
license?
Yeah, because at the
I don't know.
moment, it's Simple Start still not VAT element. I know they keep changing it, but so maybe that probably wouldn't make sense. Okay, cool. So that was Ledgers. We're all very, very, very excited, and I think from what I can tell by the community over in the US as well, looking at like Hector Garcia's pages and all those sort of things, and Jason's stats and everything, it seems like everyone's excited about
there's
Ledgers.
a lot of buzz about that.
Yeah, which is great to see. We're glad that's coming through. Okay, new badges. Talk to me about these new badges. So, I mean, we all like shiny things, right?
Yeah, we all like new things. So, QuickBooks have updated the Pro Advisor program with a complete refresh over in the US, from badges through to perks and benefits to all the different tier points scoring systems, etc.
Yep.
We don't know what of that's coming to the UK yet, apart from badges. We know badges are here because they're already launched. I've already got my badge. I've already started putting that on email footers, websites, etc. I did a post about it on LinkedIn the other day. Very well received. I will just say, I thought I'd seen the design somewhere, and it does look very, very similar to the Microsoft qualification badges, but that's fine.
They're all in Silicon Valley, maybe it's an accidental bumped into each other on the park. Or
someone swapped papers over. They picked up some papers. It's like, oh, someone's written Microsoft on there. They make QuickBooks. But it's fine. But yes, so we've seen the first step of that rebrand come to the UK.
Yep.
I'm hoping we're going to see a complete revamp of the benefits packages. Like, when I first started with QuickBooks 6-7 years ago now, the Pro Advisor benefits packages were phenomenal.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, you went up a step and you got £1,000 towards marketing. It's like, yes, please. That's my new website. When I'm starting out as a brand new customer with a brand new firm, and someone's going to give me £1,000 towards my marketing, which can pay for a new website, yes, please.
No brainer, isn't it?
Of course, I'm going to push QuickBooks to every single client I've got. Everyone won that. So I'm looking forward to seeing a complete refresh of the benefits of the Pro Advisor program, because I think that has fallen to the wayside slightly. And not, the focus has been on features and products, and that's far more important. Do not get me wrong. But yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm looking forward to that one. And then there was only one other thing that...
Well, did you notice some of those badges, though, which completely took me by surprise, was training certifications now an official badge?
Yes.
Which is cool. I mean,
has that come to the UK, though?
I mean, I've had it for a while, right?
Yeah.
So that's TWN Training Right Network ones. But also, the Accounting Council had a badge.
And we've got a new... Yes, I saw it on the agenda. Was a nice new badge that looked very clean, modern. I like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's we're into very much trying to collect all the badges. So potentially there's some more badges. And what I know this is America only at the moment, and I know there's kind of conversations about will it work in the UK, but they even had third-party apps there as well.
Yep.
So that's really exciting. And they had the payroll ones they've had for a while, and those sort of ones.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I'd love to see a payroll certification come out in the UK in the first place. That would be fantastic.
Yeah. One huge change, though, they had with the tier system. So when you go up your tiers was currently at the moment, anyone in who's become a Pro Advisor, so all you really need to do is just get a certification, so get core certified, can get yourself on the Pro Advisor program.
Yep.
In the US, they've swapped that around. Is it gold above, silver above? One of the tiers are above. Only those people will be allowed on the Pro Advisor portal.
Oh, the Pro Advisor directory.
Directory, sorry, yeah.
Ooh.
That's very, very. I mean, would they bring it to UK? Who knows? But that's a big change, isn't it?
My reservation with that would be, I loved QuickBooks from day one on my firm because they supported firms from day one.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, like very few softwares out there support firms from day one. Like QuickBooks, you get your certification and that's it. You're on their Pro Advisor directory.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how many licenses you've got, like someone in blue does. So you get ranked on your location, your certification levels. If you've got core, then someone with advanced, those in the office next door to you, is going to get a better ranking on the Pro Advisor directory, rightly so. And quality of reviews. So the number of 5-star reviews, etc. That's the priorities there. Whereas in some of our competitors' directories, like Xero, it doesn't matter how good your reviews are or where you are geographically, really. You're prioritized based on how many licenses you've got. And that's disgusting in my view, because that's not a level playing field. That's what I've always loved about QuickBooks. Is it's a level playing field. If you become QuickBooks Pro certified and they turn around and say, well, you've still got to be gold and above, I would want to make sure that minimum like 2 or 3 clients on QuickBooks plus your certification gets you enough points to go
to get into
that. Yes.
Yeah. And I think the reason for that is because there's been too many times when the system's been abused, right?
Oh, completely.
So, people are just throwing people at it, and just getting the qualification, not even, properly taking the certification, just going in and following the certification off a cheat sheet, basically, and then getting themselves on the Pro Advisor. So they needed to combat that, and I feel like this is a way to do it. I think you're right, though. They just need to make it sure that they don't go too aggressive on this.
We've still got to support those startup firms because that's what QuickBooks has always been about.
Yeah.
However, so I'm based in Edinburgh. I'm the #1 ranked person because I've got 40-odd 5-star reviews. People below me are 14 stars. So I think page 1, everyone's got reviews, maybe up to 1 review. And then there's like 10 pages of people with no reviews. And you kind of go, well, have they got clients? Have they got licenses? Like, should they be on there, or are we creating white noise for those that are committed?
Yeah. And recertification did help a lot with that.
Yes.
There was a lot that got
of dead weight out.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's interesting. I think we're both in agreement. Hopefully they don't go too aggressive, and it's difficult to comment from here looking at the Americas. It's difficult to understand what their landscape's like.
This is going to be one of those things I really hope they bring to the QuickBooks Accounting Council. So the Accounting Council can go, if we were starting out today, how would we feel about these requirements?
Yeah.
And we can give feedback on from our own personal experience when we started out.
Yeah, and the beauty of the Accounting Council is they've actually invited people who are just starting out. That's what we love about the Accounting Council, right?
The Accounting Council's got a range of startups to 50-year-old businesses.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's a great diversity and demographic there.
Exactly. Is there anything else from Vegas and you want to talk about?
One other thing.
Go for it.
So we all know QuickBooks Payroll Bureau is launching in the UK. And that's fantastic. I'm excited by that. One of the things you and I have always speculated is, wouldn't it be good if they had HR tools?
Yeah.
They're bringing HR tools out in the USA. Now, I don't know if that's powered by a mysterious third party or if it's QuickBooks built. I don't know how it's done in the USA. But I think bringing HR tools into QuickBooks Payroll, especially when you're just launching a payroll bureau in the UK, I think that could be a really powerful value add move.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that a lot because I feel like in the US they get it right. It's the one thing we've been talking about a lot about the value of payroll. They get it there, right?
And in the UK, small business owners either have absolutely terrible free resources and templates that they have to rework themselves that are in Word documents, or they've got fairly expensive HR support who will do it all for you, but affordability puts you off when you're already trying to put together the money for the first employee.
Yeah.
So if there's a cost-effective middle ground in there where you can get good templates tailored for you based on your information at a cost-effective HR tool where you can do reviews and stuff like, we know what competencies that Employment Hero have in their HR tool. If that was in QuickBooks or something equivalent, I think that would give small business owners trying to employ people for the first time or with a small team a much better chance of making a success of it.
Yeah.
And not falling down on different hurdles and holes. Like, one of my clients has just been taken through an employment tribunal because they didn't realize what they were doing was wrong.
Yeah.
And it wasn't our place, or we weren't qualified to advise them on it. They didn't want to go out and get HR because it's so inaffordable. Actually a software like a QuickBooks HR tool would have saved them that problem.
Yeah. And what I think QuickBooks has the advantage of as well, it's not just employees, it's subcontractors as well, especially in the UK these days. IR35, all of that.
CIS,
all of that. Exactly. So if you can get a system that will automatically help you make sure you're on the right side of the compliance, I think that's a huge step, isn't it? So let's hope, let's fingers crossed that that's something that that we get heard about, because the QuickBooks payroll product in America definitely is it's its own beast, right? It's got its own solution, and it is, it looks brilliant. I've never had a chance to play with it, but it does look good. So fingers crossed on that one.
That's all they were my 3 key points that I wanted to come away with.
That's brilliant. So last bit for QuickBooks USA is goodbye QuickBooks Desktop. They've got a sunset period. I don't know though. I feel like we understood that the UK market was more of a support thing, right? It was QuickBooks Desktop. It wasn't going to get updated, or wouldn't have been updated as frequently as it needed to be. They had to pull the plug on it. But in the US, I thought QuickBooks Desktop was huge, wasn't it?
And in the US, where it's generally accepted the USA are 5 years behind the UK, and the UK is 5 years behind Australia.
Yeah.
So if we thought it was painful to pull the plug on desktop in the UK,
which has caused huge issues for certain clients,
then oh my god, it's going to be agonizing in the US because they're 5 years from being ready.
Yeah. And it's that same argument we had when they pulled the plug on the UK desktop. It was we weren't really at feature parity at US in the online product at that point in time. So now that the US have decided to, in my mind, I was like, okay, so that means they're going to be accelerating to reach feature parity. Doesn't feel like that's the case.
Question for you though is, are the US closest to feature parity because of the strength of QuickBooks Advanced in the US of A compared to QuickBooks? Like QuickBooks Advanced in the UK is not feature parity to QuickBooks Advanced in the USA.
Agreed, but
so are they closer to feature parity than we were?
I suppose the stock element is, and that's one of the biggest points.
Yeah.
So maybe if you take into account what was QuickBooks Commerce, with that on it, maybe that's the route that they're going, and that's how they've reached that parity. But there's still little bits missing, like credit control and things like that in the customers. So yeah,
but maybe there's a. I'm sure I'm going to get shouted at by desktop fans here, but maybe there is a line where you go, did we over deliver on desktop credit control? Should that be delivered by the FMS system, or should that be delivered by a specialist third party that links into the FMS system?
I guess desktop's for multi-users, isn't it? That's where it comes down to, and that's where QuickBooks Advanced is supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
And the idea is it's not just one person looking after the business. You've got a team, and if there's a team of you, that's where credit control and things come into play.
That team can access a credit control software. Like
they can.
I can put a team in place for Chaser or Know It.
Yeah.
And that links to QuickBooks.
Yeah.
At what point? Where do we now draw the line between an FMS system and the need for a specialist plugin?
True.
Third-party app. I would argue credit control is such a bespoke product, such a powerful product that needs so much attention and constant development that maybe we should be using third-party apps and not relying on what was built in that desktop level. And actually the value might get better.
Yeah.
And for that reason, we don't need to deliver credit control to the same level.
Yeah, I can see it.
You had to build it into desktop because no one could plug into desktop.
Yeah, true.
Like
true.
I couldn't go to Chaser or Know It or anyone else and go, can you run my credit control? I'm using this desktop here. And they would go, well, how do we wire into that server? Like FMS systems don't have to deliver the same complete bundle.
No.
Well, now they're on cloud because it's so much easier to integrate third parties than it ever was on desktop. They had to deliver credit control or whatever it was in the desktop because no one could plug into help.
Yeah, and I do. I think now you've said like that, I agree with that to a point. I think you're right. I think the problem we have is there are still certain bits of desktop we just can't, even third parties can't replicate.
Okay.
So the issue you're going to have is having different products and service price lists for different customers, right? Yeah. So you could have that bespoke part. And again, when you're saying that, there's certain third parties out there that could kind of replicate it, but they don't do a great job.
And then push the sales data into QuickBooks.
Yeah. The big one is the multi-currency one where you can't have different price points and different currencies and items like that. That's where desktop had that advantage to. And we're still waiting for QuickBooks Advanced because that's where it's going to go to start having those sort of features. And I imagine it's on some sort of roadmap somewhere.
Yep. My
hope is that now that they've decided to get rid of it in the US, that roadmap has to be accelerated quicker than ever before. Otherwise, we've seen it in the UK. There's been so much fallout with the fact that desktop users just felt like they were kind of left in the lurch a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, fingers crossed, that they won't be able to do that to the US market. Cool. Back to UK though.
Is it time?
No. We're just two items to go in the UK. So first of all, QuickBooks Advanced has a new feature in the UK market. Fixed asset register is now live. Fixed asset register is still what it was when we looked at it last time. So
can I abstain from the vote and any feedback so I don't get shot?
Yeah,
my way out.
We might need to be careful what we say about it in this area. But yeah, unfortunately,
we have fed back to the UK team.
We have
our thoughts on it. The UK team have been very open to that feedback. Unfortunately, they're kind of stymied by the US of A team, who seem to be quite happy with it.
Yeah. I mean, we've made our points clear on this, right? It's in the advanced product. We expected a advanced solution.
And you know what? To be honest with you, whether it's in the advanced product and it's amazing or not,
but if they put it in any other SKU, I don't think we'd have an issue with it.
Well, no, I would. Because it's not advanced. It's not good enough for what we need it to do.
Agreed, but a minimum of our product in any of the other SKUs, you go, okay, fair enough. Like it's starting point.
So,
well, but at least in any other SKU, it would make sense. I think my bit that I always come back to is the fact it's in the advanced product. It just
If it was going to be, if it was in the advanced product only and it was absolutely incredible, like the best fixed asset register you've ever touched, I'd still be annoyed because it's only in the advanced product. And I still wouldn't use it.
I don't know about that
because I want my team like using the same thing across all of our clients.
Yeah,
NetTracker does that for us.
Oh yeah. Oh, so without that.
But if they launched fixed asset register, that was incredible, and it was across all the platforms, and I could then bring in, like my zero license people via trial balance in there, and I use their fixed asset depreciations.
Yeah.
Then I did working papers. I think that fixed asset thing should live in working papers because it's part of that year-end process ultimately.
Yeah, agreed.
So yeah,
I think if they would release this in every SKU, we wouldn't have too much to argue about because it's an update at the end of the day.
I think we would.
But but we wouldn't be able to, we could pick faults that but we wouldn't be able to feel too. But if they had that amazing product that then went into QuickBooks Advanced, and I'd feel far better about all this. It's just the fact that
I'd feel better about it, but I wouldn't use it because I want to use the same tool across all of my clients.
Yeah, that is fair. That is fair. So the last bit of feedback from the UK product is Ask the Expert is back.
Whoop, whoop.
And it was filmed.
The origins.
Over there. If you can see on my screen over there, it's over the yonder over there. So loved it. First episode's out. First episode's got some really good feedback.
Fantastic interview with Rupinder.
I'm just trying to think if have we mentioned who the next two? No, we haven't. So we won't mention who else is coming, but there's two more already in the pipeline. So I'm looking forward to them to go out there as well. But yeah, no, great episode. As Rupinder said, the only thing he says he felt he was too enthusiastic. But in fairness, he wasn't enthusiastic. No, it was brilliant.
It's great to have it back. It was great to see it shot in a professional light, with professional people filming it and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, look what happens when you're just amateurs.
We can bring a certain level of professionalism to it, but it's so good to see it back. I'm so pleased, especially because it had been filmed.
Mm-hmm.
It was being edited when a certain blue competitor suddenly started releasing short videos about ask an expert or something like that. It's like, tedious link there.
Yeah.
But I'm so pleased to see it back from QuickBooks. I think it added so much value to small businesses during COVID.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is where this came from.
Yeah, exactly right.
Where Ask the Accountant came from. There's so many important things came off the back of that are intangible to put a value on.
Yep.
So I'm really pleased to see it back.
I can't wait. I'm just great to see it, isn't it? So there. Right then, everybody, let's go into the tier list then.
Come on.
So
end of year review, people.
End of year review. We're going to see what
Christmas t-shirt on for this and everything.
I forgot to put my Christmas. I should have really put the Christmas t-shirt on. Really. If we could just show the screen, Lizzie, that would be great. But the idea is that every year we come and we do a tier list. Ooh, is it not coming through? Just seeing maybe a little technical. I understand the problem. Don't worry. That was a me problem.
See, this is what happens when you get professionals to film Ask the Expert. You don't get this issue.
There we are. Right. Okay. Hey. Cool. So, as a recap, and this is a bit of a thing down memory lane as well.
It's just you and Ash.
Yeah, me and Ash, and it was
before I was cool enough to be invited.
2020 would have been 20.
Yeah, I wasn't cool enough to be invited at this point. You were still ignoring my messages.
So at this point, there we are in our older. There's Ash in his old house as well. We had in 2020 the game changers. We'll only go through the game changers here. But in that year, we had journal entries coming through. The ability to import journal entries.
Yep.
Game changer. The ability to be able to connect Zettel directly to QuickBooks, game changer. The ability to bring cash flow forecasting in, game changer. And then the ability to do something else. I can't figure out what that was because the resolution's so small, but there's something else that was a game changer. That's 2020.
So it was 4 game changers,
which was
6 okays.
The strongest year we had, and 1 meh. And the meh was, it was an update to the banking thing. I think basically Ash was like, why have you included that? That doesn't make much sense. Never mind. Then we had year 2 of it. So I had
still not cool enough to be involved.
No. Ash with his Net Tracker t-shirt on at his old house still. And me, at least I had my what to call it back there, but not a single game changer that year.
All good, meh, or poor.
So great was working papers. How that wasn't a game changer, I'll never know. I got voted down on this one.
I would have stood up for that. I'd have made that a game changer.
Yeah. Category history, that was okay. MailChimp being announced that year.
That turned into a bit of a meh.
Well, yeah, it's not really been done what we need it. And then there was a few other items that came through, but not yet available was QuickBooks Business Account.
Oh,
the bank.
That could have been the game changer of the century.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, FCA.
Then we had last year. There you are. You are there in your old. You are there in your old
I
one.
even had a QuickBooks hoodie.
I'm not sure
in my old spare room
where I was sitting there. That seems a bit strange, but anyway, that's.
You're probably out traveling again.
No, that's definitely my room, but it just looks very odd, doesn't it?
Had a few revamps since then.
Game changer was team certification. You know, the ability
to view it. Yes,
exactly.
Then I can beat people that haven't done it.
Exactly. The great was the fact that you could test rule, QuickBooks Advance, new transfer option, work papers review being there. Still only managed to get to great. That was the review tick. It wasn't.
I still stand by that was a game changer.
Well, you didn't. Yeah.
Well, no, you and Ash voted me down. Ash was very unpositive about this.
Okay, so and then not yet available was landlords.
Well, is it now? I don't think. No. Okay, moving on.
And the new burger button.
Let's see there.
Merge contacts and new customer was the meh that year.
They call a burger button. I'd call it a lightweight burger.
Well, exactly.
I personally like mine triple stacked.
Exactly. Now this year,
here we go.
We've got a few to go through. We've got game changer. I've added a new category. Amazing.
Oh,
great.
You're mixing it up. I don't like it.
And then we've got MVP, minimum viable product. That's like the bottom one.
Oh, mayor's now technically.
Yeah. And then the last one, let's hope this gets some love in 2024.
Okay.
So let's hope nothing goes in there.
I feel like being on location has softened your approach. Carry on.
Right. So first one, desktop app. There was a big hoo-ha around it. We had the ability to go in and effectively you were able to install an app on your computer. You can use QuickBooks. Had a few changes here. It was designed for your power users. Slight problem at the moment. It doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work on my end anyway. So
I've not even tried to install it.
Oh, I've tried. I've tried to use it.
Is there why did they waste the time or why did they bother? Category? Because this one just
I don't think it's why you could. The idea was
token gesture to people that won't move on to cloud.
It was to appease the desktop user because there was a view that made it look very desktop like.
Those people, especially those accountants and bookkeepers that are insistent on using desktop, they're going to retire in the next 5 years. Why are we wasting resources on appeasing them when we've got all of this young generation that love the cloud and want to use the cloud?
I see it. I mean, what would have been nice with this is if they tried to steal the whole hybrid functionality that Sage tried to do, wasn't it? So if this app would have somehow had an opportunity that when you're on the train, you could do a bit of work and then sync.
People that believes in the cold turkey approach to detoxing anything. If I want to detox your desktop software, I'm just going to force you to use the cloud at all times.
So we both agree then this is definitely not going to be game changer, amazing or great. Is this a minimum viable product or is this let's hope this gets some love in 2024?
I don't even want them to spend time on it in 2024. I want them to drop it.
Okay. The next one was the new sales view. Now let's all remember what changed. So the idea here was we went from that traditional view that we knew and love to a more functional view. Gave us more filter options. It gives us options to add in things like balances. There was controversy on the left-hand side that you now can't do customers in list by balances. But apart from that, we were added functionality as opposed to take them away.
You can now, though, can't you?
No, it's still not at this moment. It's still by name and by recent. So you can't do it by balance. So you used to be able to have on that left-hand, when you're already in on that left-hand panel, it used to be there. The other added functionality was the ability to see statements, so you could recall statements.
Yeah.
So what we're saying, is that a game changer? I don't think it's a game changer, but is it amazing or great?
I'd say it's great. Like, I didn't like it to start with because for some reason I ended up I'd click on the invoice, then I'd have to go down and click on edit. That edit button wasn't quite where it says receive payment. There wasn't like
an extra click, wasn't there? Yeah.
Now that edit thing's there. It's like it's no skin off my nose.
Yeah.
So I'm more than happy with it now. It's
so
great.
You're saying it's great, not amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say it's definitely better than a minimal viable product.
Yeah.
I don't.
100%.
It doesn't excite me.
Yeah. How about the update to the dashboard? So the dashboard got a bit of love. You got the opportunity to add some new widgets, including apps. I think the app bit's the best bit to it.
It's okay, but I still think it needs a lot of attention.
So minimum viable product? Or do you want, let's hope it has some
I really hope they give it more attention,
Okay.
because I think it's a minimum viable product that could add so much value to that dashboard, but they need to give it attention to do that.
Yeah. There's definitely potential there, isn't it? Like the idea of us being able to put our custom dashboards to clients.
Yeah,
love
exactly.
it. Bank. So we have now the option to tick a box so that every time we add a transaction, we can automatically add new suppliers.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
Is it amazing? Has it got an argument for that?
For something to be amazing or to be game changer, or for game changer, it has to really excite me, and I really look forward to
100%.
using it.
Yeah.
But to be amazing, it has to excite me.
Yeah.
It's great because it's a convenience.
Okay.
That's my scoring.
Sounds good.
I think.
What about bank app to app that came live this year? So the idea is when you're on your mobile, if you want to quickly go and reconnect your bank account, you're able to go straight into the app, click a few buttons, and off to the races.
I think it's great because it's slightly less hassle from the client's point of view.
Yeah.
You know what's amazing? Is it on there? I don't know. I've not seen this list yet. But the ability to tick, for me to go in and tick on my client's behalf and continue it.
I forgot about that.
That's amazing.
That is amazing. Oh,
because once my client's connected for the first time, it's done.
We're going to stick that as bank to app to app. And we're going to say it includes that. You're right. The fact that we as the accountant can reauthorize, is that a game changer or is that?
It makes life easier.
Yep.
I don't think it's a game changer.
Okay.
I think it's amazing what they've managed to do with the rules that are in place.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Now, I wasn't too fussed about this one myself. Multi-currency for Go Cardless.
Doesn't bother me because I don't have any clients really messing around.
I mean,
multi-currency at that level.
Do have it, but I don't know. Was that the big update we needed from Go Cardless? I don't know. I just felt like Go Cardless needed an update. I was hoping it was going to be the whole, you add a new customer and the customer automatically goes there. I don't know.
I think Go Cardless, their biggest problem at the moment, like my biggest irritation with them, outside of what cannot be changed because it's the law, which is like the processing times.
Yeah.
Is the amount of times I have to go in and manually match a deposit to the deposit because it's a penny out. Like, there's more and more glitches with Go Cardless because of like the VAT elements and stuff now.
Yeah.
Like this week, I've had to go in a couple of times already today, and like we're talking £4-5 out, and it's like, it's not accounted for the Go Cardless fee.
Yeah.
Like, there seems to be more failures from the information pushed from Go Cardless to QuickBooks than there ever used to be. And we've had it where whole invoices have been missed off the run.
Wow.
Like, or they've not even, all the invoices are marked as collect the invoice and they've not collected the invoice.
Yeah.
Like we're having more problems now and it's not QuickBooks' fault.
So for saying that was our only update, and there was people who needed it, let's be honest. But
yeah, I'd say minimum viable. Well, it's not even that. It's just, I think you've ruined the game by not having a meh.
I think minimum viable product really is meh. Yeah. VAT predictions. So this is that new idea that it can go and check for VAT for you and bring it through.
Yeah,
it's fine.
it's
isn't it?
okay.
I think there's a lot of I think that people are excited for it internally for it. I just don't know if yet it's ready. And
it's
I
not
think
even that. There's only so much it can predict correctly, because
it
will
needs
say,
to
"Oh,
interact
how
with the
much
cash
will my
flow
VAT
forecast
be?"
as well, right?
Yeah, it needs to do that. But also, like, I was at QuickBooks' head office the day they were talking to us about that.
Yeah.
They finished that conversation. I took a phone call from one of my team members saying, client's not happy, he's got a huge VAT bill. What do you mean he's got a huge VAT bill? This client's average VAT bill, £2,000.
Mm-hmm.
This month or this quarter, 10 grand.
Ouch.
Because he's had a huge sales month.
Yeah.
Like, he signed the biggest contract of his life. And it's like, yeah. Ironically, we were just discussing predicting VAT bills, and it will never handle that.
No.
So there's only so much it can do, I think.
Yeah.
We are 22 minutes past 5.
Yep.
So we've got quite a few of this. Rush on.
Okay. Well, this one's a game changer, in my opinion.
What is it?
Accounts production.
Yes.
Easy. I mean, we love it.
I also want it to have a lot more attention next year.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's the fact it's there, huge.
Yeah.
We definitely need some love to go for it. Pro tax.
Again, game changer.
I think, honestly, the best thing about that is it was already a product that was outside of, it was in the US, wasn't it? It was sat there. We're able to bring this in.
US or Canada? Canada. And it got brought in.
Yes, that's right.
But yes, game changer, especially for the small firms.
Now we've got a very small update. The ability to add a report to management reports. So that new little button
should have been there in the first place.
Should have been there in the first place. Minimum viable product.
Yeah.
Fixed asset register.
Minimum viable product.
So it's not even you want some love in 2024. You just.
Well, I think anything that's a minimum viable product has to have love in 2024.
Okay.
By default.
Okay. New enhanced reporting. So this brand new view. It's caused a lot of controversy. It's got some extra features to it.
I'd say it's okay, but I wouldn't say it's amazing.
Okay.
Just because I'm not there yet to adopting it.
Okay.
I'm still playing with it. I'm still getting my head around it. It's still an inconvenience.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. The app dashboard. So the ability to see apps directly from the dashboard, see if there's anything wrong, broken. Great. Not amazing.
Not amazing. But I don't think that kind of insight is ever going to be groundbreaking or amazing. I think it helps.
Yeah, agreed. Starling spaces. So the ability.
It helps.
Wow.
But at the same time,
that's an amazing update, because that was such a pain point, and now we've fixed it.
And you know what, though? Unfortunately, it's not a pain point that QuickBooks created. It's a pain point created by Starling. QuickBooks are having to deal with their mess.
Yeah, agreed.
And I just sit there sometimes thinking, if their app partners weren't making such a bleeding mess of this, and they were having to cover up this mess, what else could they have spent that time and resource on?
Yeah.
What else could we have different?
Yeah. VAT reminder for clients. Not really had a chance to play around with it properly to be understanding exactly. The one thing that's upsetting is it's not for accountants, only for clients.
Yeah, and I've got a practice management automation for that. I don't need it.
Yeah, so minimum viable.
But if you've not got a PM tool, then fair enough. Or if you've not got an accountant or bookkeeper, then fair enough.
Yeah,
it helps you stay right. But yeah,
now this next one should be a game changer.
Go on.
I don't think we're going to agree on that though. Bank statement import in its current state. So the idea, game changer.
Completely agree.
The bank that's been jumped on to showcase what it can do, I don't think they understand the remit. Was it?
Again, this is a game-changing feature.
4 hours, is it?
That is hampered and destroyed by the incompetency of a third party.
Yeah. QuickBooks have been wanting to bring this feature for years. We were there, weren't we? What was it? QuickBooks 2019, 18?
The banks, because they're just operating within the rules. The FCA and the government said open banking has to be mandated.
Yeah.
But they didn't decide what was in the open banking and what wasn't. If they had mandated that, I mean, the fact that Metro Bank's not even open banking yet, and that was a legal compliance requirement when.
Yeah, agreed.
That makes a whole mockery of the whole thing. Like, if they turn around and said, right, these features are part of open banking, full stop, you have to deliver these as mandatory things, the likes of QuickBooks and their, that space would have such an easier life, and they'd be able to bring so much value to us.
Yeah.
But because there's no consistency between, well, we interpret it as this, we interpret it as that, QuickBooks are like, well, I'm building these features and no buggers using them.
Yeah, that is a problem, isn't it?
So, yeah. QuickBooks, I think they've got an amazing feature there. I mean, that's Xero. I've still got to build the concept of a bank reconciliation tool. Never mind bringing in the statement to match it
ain't going to come anytime soon.
But yeah, it could be a game changer if it wasn't for the incompetence of the people they're having to deal with on the bank side.
Let's hope next year there's a few updates to it so we can bring it in next year and put it to game changer, because it deserves to be a game changer.
Completely.
Just
I mean, as a principle, so far, I'm happy for it to be a game changer today.
But that's not what we've got.
It's not. Yeah, but that's not their fault.
Well, currently they're restricted to a 4-hour or whatever the time frame is, or 40 minutes or whatever the time frame is. So it'll get there. We'll think for it next year. What about the new user experience? So adding in a new user, they've updated it. It's
great.
Only great.
Looks modern. I don't think it's amazing. It doesn't. Wow. I don't get. Oh, I'm getting to add a new user. Come on.
Does it not help clients understand it more though? And that's the pain point, right?
Know. My clients don't get to use it.
Okay, fair play.
Like, from me as an accountant, I'm sat in my shoes as an accountant bookkeeper that's using QuickBooks. It's great. It's nice, and it's very much more. I'm more confident in making sure I've set up that client how I want to set them up.
Yeah, agreed. What about receipt capture? The ability to split. Is that amazing?
Should have been there.
Should have been there.
I'm going to go say it's great because but
we should have already
had it.
I suppose the other thing is there's more needed for receipt capture, right? Like we need that little bit more just so we can use it for accountants.
It's not feature parity.
No.
And when we keep asking for certain features, and the likes of the USA team come back saying, "Oh, is that important?" Yes, it's what all your competitors have. Do some market research.
Yeah. Train QB, the new banking experience when you first connect a bank account.
Yeah, I've yet to see it properly in the wild.
Yeah,
but I know it's there. But I know it's also tailored more towards the client.
It's end consumer, isn't it? Yeah.
But if it
for an end
consumer, stop putting everything into advertising, then I'm happy.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's either game changer or amazing. I'm unsure. Like, take out. Basically, it's stopping us needing to get so involved in the training, right?
Yep.
Is it?
I don't think it's game changer.
I feel like it's
amazing.
The concept could be a game changer. I think the implementation. What it needs is help from accountants to set templates up and stuff, so that then they can go through from there, doesn't it? Yeah. But I think they're on something massive there. It just needs to fine tune it. New bills workflow. So there's the ability to be able to go in, put a draft bill in, then be able to upload it using the receipt capture, then be able to make it markets paid, push it through from there.
Yeah, it's good. Again, I don't see many small businesses needing it in my clientele.
For me, I see it as, again, it's for a bigger team, but it's that team where they have just purchase managers.
Yeah. So by that point, you're looking at QuickBooks Advanced. So does it need to be in every single product?
I like it. It's not in everything. It's not in Simple Start.
Okay.
Because they don't have bills.
Yep.
So it's essentials and above. I'm going to say amazing on that one.
Okay.
Now,
go on.
You're not allowed to talk about this one. QuickBooks Practice Manager. What does Aaron Patrick think about it?
Amnesty Day. I'm not having an opinion on it because it's a conflict of interest.
It had a chance to be game changing. The initial concept was completely game changing, and not just as a practice management solution, but as probably the best task management solution there could ever have been. The result was it doesn't deserve amazing. The result was great. And
was it?
Or was it a minimum viable product? You know what?
You are on record of saying it's not a practice management tool.
Oh, it's definitely not a practice management tool.
In which case, it's a minimum viable product.
Well, let's hope it gets.
There goes my non-opinion.
Yeah. I actually think it's less than minimum. I think minimum viable product to me is something that we accept and it just goes through. I think it needs some love, and
if I take,
especially at that actually bringing to the price point,
that kills it.
Yeah, it's.
If I take off my biased hat, if I'm sat there, so I sat there in 2018 at QuickBooks Connect in London, and they announced Work. That's what.
Oh yeah, exactly. Work was amazing. Yeah,
and I was buzzing about that.
The concept was amazing.
Of it. Yeah. I walked away from that so excited. I was so excited. If I now look at it and I think, well, that, don't get me wrong, practice management is an advancement on that.
Yeah.
But when you look at the market as a whole, it's not there.
Yeah.
Like compared to all the tools and benefits all these third-party apps have got.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm still going to fight for helping to try and make it better.
The theology of it, like as you and I were just saying this morning, if that was plugged into Intuit Assist and they had all the feature power, like it would destroy everyone in the market.
Yeah,
there wouldn't be a practice management market because Intuit would just walk all over them.
Yeah,
if you use QuickBooks, you use the QuickBooks practice management tool because you've got the Intuit Assist.
Yeah,
it's completely dominant.
Yeah,
but
the concept is easily a game changer.
Yep.
And what does he say to us?
Great idea.
Great idea, poorly executed. Yeah, I think that's exactly
that's
where
the PC way of putting it.
Yeah, yeah.
Go on. What's the last one?
So the last one is QuickBooks Payroll Bureau.
So I think this has the potential of being a game changer. It goes live next week, doesn't it?
Yeah, I agree. It has the potential. How are we feeling from the current implementation? I mean, to be fair, is there anything wrong with it? No. Has it delivered on its promise? Yes.
Yep.
Is this a big shift in terms of?
Can I use it against every client I've got, regardless of their FMS software? Yes.
Yeah.
For me, game changer. No one else does it in the market.
No.
And therefore, it is a game-changing approach.
Yeah. The underlying software is just phenomenal. Does everything it needs. In fact, it does stuff that even I've not been able to implement yet. You know, there's some extra bells and whistles that.
Yep.
Yeah. The only thing it's missing is that HR functionality, right? Which we've already spoken about.
But so is every other payroll software.
Yeah. That's kind of that shouldn't stop it from getting the game changing. No. I think that's just a nice to have, isn't it?
No one else has put their big boy pants on and go, you know what? We don't care what FMS software you're using. You can use our payroll software with all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. And in fairness, QuickBooks Manager does it. PM does it as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that doesn't make it any higher on my
list. The philosophy of practice management isn't the issue. The functionality as it stands and the price point for that functionality is.
Yeah. And there we have it. This has been a very good year, which we knew. We knew it was a good year. Yeah. It's been a phenomenal year.
In February, I can't believe that was only February. That was so long. It feels so long ago, but it also feels like yesterday. You know how those things happen?
Yeah.
But when we were sat there and they went, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing this, we kind of went, if they deliver on this, yeah, this could be good. This could be big. Have they delivered on it all as quickly as they would want or we would want? Maybe not. But we're going into 2024 with all of it.
Exactly. So let's just recap then. The let's hope this gets some love was the update to dashboard and the QuickBooks Practice Manager.
And that's not saying that they were bad. They
They
just need a lot more time and resource putting into it. And they will, with the right time and resource put into it, you could be looking at amazing or game changers.
Yeah. I think the reason that, for me, the reason I changed that, let's hope this gets some love, is because they've done it in the past where they've just killed something that wasn't quite working, right? We don't want to kill this. No.
But please improve it.
Improve, yeah. Minimum viable product, desktop app, multi-currency for Go cardless, add to management reports, fixed asset register. I feel like we've been too kind on fixed asset register, if I'm honest. Is it even a minimum viable product? That is going down. I'm not having that. And then VAT reminder for clients. That's fine for me. Great. The new user experience, new sales view, bank auto and new supplies, VAT prediction, new enhanced reporting, app dashboard, and receipt capture split. If that was all the updates we had, we'd have had a good year, right? If you can compare that to 0.
If you compare the amount of updates we've just had to score here,
yeah,
versus 0, where they've had what? Oh, we've got a new font. we've put some different bold lines on our report.
Yeah.
As critical as we are being of QuickBooks, we have to then look around the bigger market space and go,
that's a
we
huge
are
list.
so bloody lucky to have
to
be on board with a software that has launched that amount of updates. I mean, what software company out there rivals that amount of updates in a year?
Exactly.
Client Engager.
Exactly.
Where we do it weekly. But like no one else on the market puts that amount of development out in a year.
Exactly. Amazing. We've got bank app to app, Starling Spaces, bank statement import. It could be so much more. Train QB and the new bills workflow.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I'm really proud of is the game changing. We've not had a game changer for a while.
And now we've got 3.
And JV is 2 of these. So does that mean he gets a statue?
Hero.
Does he finally get a statue?
I mean, for those that aren't, like, this is like a squared office space, and behind Aaron is just like a drop for 5 floors. In my humble opinion,
that's where the statue
there should be a statue that's 5 floors up, filling this space just of JV. So you're literally walking past his face as you walk along the 5th floor of QuickBooks' offices. That's how important these are.
We've got accounts production, pro tax, and okay, can't thank JV for this one, but QB payroll bureau is a great solution.
Yeah,
it's there. And there we have it. What do you think? Did we get that right? Did we get it wrong? I think the comments should be going crazy. If it's anything like the other years, we do get some major comments coming through about if we got it right, if we got it wrong. So yeah, let us know in the comments below what you think. But that's summed up a very good year, hasn't it?
I just think we've had such an incredible year for developments. QuickBooks have said at the start of this year, it's about you guys, the accountants and bookkeepers, and they have delivered that.
100%.
If this is them just picking up pace, what we're going to get next year?
Exactly. So there we have it. We are running slightly over, so apologies for that one.
But that's what happens when you have so many updates in a year.
And that's what happens
Meanwhile, the Zero podcast are 8 minutes in and they've run out of content.
But they've got that new font. Yes. Right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us on this epic episode. And let us know what you think. Do you like the fact that we're in QuickBooks HQ? Do you think we should bring in some of the QuickBooks people into the podcast going forward? Interesting. Johan, thank you very much for coming along.
It was a long way to come for an hour long podcast, if I'm honest.
You're off back on the train now?
Yeah, 4.5 hours, an hour here, 4.5 hours back. But it's all right because I can hit the beer trolley on the way home.
Oh, that's all right then. That's okay. Well worth it then. Worth it. So you anything you want to push, promote, anything else your end?
No, I'm just thrilled that we are able to do content on a software provider that is delivering what it's asking us, what it's told us it's going to deliver. It's delivering features focused at the accountants and bookkeepers that are, even the lower graded ones, are making an impact on someone's practice somewhere.
Yeah, agreed.
Whereas I just don't see it from some of their competitors.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just grateful that they're doing all this work. So we've got some content each month.
Yeah, 100%. Right. That's it. That is another episode of QuickBooks Labs. Thank you very much for coming along. Hopefully Charlie gets better soon and he'll be back for next time. And hopefully some of the new guests we've got lined up will be available as well.
Yes.
So we can extend the panel as we need to. Yeah. And again, let us know in the comments. Did you like us being in QuickBooks HQ? Do you think it's do you think this adds value to it? We'd love to know. Right, that's it. That is another episode of QuickBooks Labs done and dusted. If you listen to us live, then please do come back to us next week. If you're not listening to us live, why not consider it? Because then you can keep us honest. You could have been involved in this topic here and helped make sure that you got those answers correct. But again, if you have the opportunity to go and have a look, let us know what you would have made a game changer, amazing, great, minimum viable product, or let's hope they get some love in 2024. And with that, I think that's it. I think we're going to call it there. So thanks again, Johan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I say it?
Go for it.
Lizzie, roll the credits.
As an accountant, I've got something to say. I'd like to introduce you to a whole new way to help small business clients. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, 4. QuickBooks Online. Accounting you can customize. Just sit back and relax. It works with over 300 apps. It can sync up with
Client Engager.
PayPal or
NetTracker.
Shopify, and with
Gold
Cloud,
Cardless.
you
Get paid
can
easily.
analyze. With
Cresco.
QuickBooks, you'll get paid instantly. While
Swoop.
Stitch Labs tracks your
Funding
inventory.
options.
QuickBooks Online. QuickBooks Online. Can save money and time.
QuickBooks Labs.